Hi, it's Carter, man. It's Wednesday, August 2nd. I wanna share a story. In fact, two quick stories with you that kind of illustrate where we are today and what we're going to need to do if we're going to not just survive, but prevail against the greatest assault on freedom in the history of this country, because it's one that comes from within. Um, right now, this week, we saw the Biden regime take a step that no other president in history would have even thought of, and that's what was yet another indictment against Donald Trump. This time, stripping him of his freedom of speech, and serving a warning to the rest of us that if we can do it to him, a man who was worth almost $1 billion and a former president of the United States, think what we can do to you if you don't shut up about the election and do as you're told. That's the message that they meant to deliver, and that they in fact deliver. But I think they have a problem, and it's embodied in the two quick stories I want to tell you. One goes back thousands of years to the kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar. Some of you are already saying, I know the story. I know the story. It's the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You'll recall that King Nebuchadnezzar ordered them to bow down to him, to kneel to the music that he was playing in his own honor, kind of like Hail to the Chief to the Nebuchadnezzar of our day in the White House now. And Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego said, we don't do that. We bow only to our God. Incredible courage. Well, Nebuchadnezzar had been grooming them because he thought they were going to be his humble servants, and he was outraged. You remember? He was outraged. Livid, kind of like Biden was when millions and millions of Americans refused to take the government vaccine. And he said, I was impatient with you people. Well, that's how Nebuchadnezzar felt. He lost patience with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and he told his servants, you stoke the coals of the furnace up to 7 times what they normally are. And he told those 3 brave young Israelis, I'm going to throw you in there if you don't bow down. And here's what they told him. O king, we believe that God is going to protect us. Our God is going to protect us. Even if you throw us into the fiery furnace, we believe our God is going to protect us and save us from the Syrian flames. And then they added 3 words that we need to add today to the tyrant who is lording it over us in Washington, and his lickspittle lieutenants on his cabinet. The 3 words that Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, told Nebuchadnezzar: we believe that God is going to protect us, save us from the flames, but if not, we will worship him still and not bow down. But if not. Okay? Now let me update the story to just about a couple decades ago, thousands of years after those 3 brave Israelis, to Dunkirk. Those of you familiar with military history, the history of World War II, recall Dunkirk. There were hundreds of thousands of British soldiers who had been on the continent to fight Nazi Germany. They essentially had failed. Let's just lay it on the line. They had failed. They were surrounded at Dunkirk, and it looked like Hitler was moving his troops in to wipe out pretty much the entire British Army. Okay? Pretty much the entire British Army. And the commander sent a message to Churchill, through Churchill to the American people, said, we're going to take a stand here. And here's what it's going to take for us to escape Hitler's hordes, okay? Overwhelming numbers of Hitler's army. It's going to take the greatest rescue effort in history. the greatest evacuation in history. He went into how many ships it would take to move all these British soldiers off of Dunkirk and across the English Channel to safety in England, and it was massive. It was massive. And he said, if you do all that, we'll be able to escape the Nazi army. And then he added just 3 words, but if not. That's where he ended his message. He knew the people of Britain would know exactly what he was saying. He was saying what Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego had said, but if not, we will still stand strong, even if we fall to the invading army, just as the 3 Israelis would fall to the flames. Okay, that's where we are today. We as patriots, have to tell toxic Joe Biden and his cabinet members, I mean the worst cabinet in history, I'm sorry, the fascist cabinet. This is the fascist cabinet. Secretary of Education sends perverts into little girls' rooms and pornography into the school libraries. His Secretary of Health, of Homeland Security, we now know, sends the Ministry of Truth out to censor everything we say. His Attorney General of the Department of Justice has perverted the law, weaponized the law to go after anybody who dares disagree with Biden dictates. Okay, you're pro-life, whether whether you believe in your freedom of speech, whatever it is. Merrick Garland is just totally perverted the rule of law. That's where we are today, and we're going to fight him every step of the way. I think we're going to win. It's going to be tough. And they're going to come at us with everything they have. Every one of us out here who stands tall, they've served notice. You're an enemy of the state. As Merrick Garland's FBI says, you're a domestic terrorist, okay? But nonetheless, we're going to be like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We're going to be like the commander of Dunkirk. We're going to stand tall. We believe we're going to win. We believe we are on God's side. But if not, we will still stand. All right? Let's do this thing.